And on behalf of the Illinois Student Assistance Commission, we thank you for taking time to attend today's Parchment preview. We're going to be sharing how the ISAC Transcript Exchange can really benefit your school or your district, but more importantly, position your students for success. I'm going to provide just a very broad overview. And next, we're going to hear from Bobby Madura with Father McGivney Catholic High School. And then we're going to hear from Heidi Dodge with Parchment. I'm going to be calling for questions at the end of each of their sessions. So our partnership has been a long proven partnership. We've been with Parchment now since 2011, and I'm happy to say that Heidi has been with us that entire time. So we really have invested at ISAC with the future of all of our Illinois students. We make the service available to both public and private high schools across the state. We're really dedicated to providing the access for everyone. And we have proven our success by having over 400 high schools now currently utilizing the ISAC Transcript Exchange. We have thousands of Illinois students actually sending their transcripts electronically, not just here in Illinois, but they can send them throughout the United States and even worldwide. They're being sent to their selected locations in a very secure manner, and the quick electronic turnaround really better positions all of our students for their post-secondary admission, scholarships, job competition. They can send third-party requests. So there's really endless ways that the students can interact, both current students and alumni students. So it's our hope that when you get through with this preview, if you're not currently using the exchange, that you're really going to be encouraged to reach out to us and partner with us and participate in the exchange. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Bobby and allow Bobby to really tell us how she feels about her success with her students there at Father McGivney. I've known Bobby for a while. They've been utilizing the service for a good number of years. So I'm going to turn it over to Bobby and let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about the service there.
Hi, I'm Bobby Madura, and I am the Student Services Director, so I am the Counseling Department Head at Father McGivney Catholic High School. We're located about 25 miles east of St. Louis, Missouri, so in what is considered Southern Illinois. I started with this school back in 2012. And the school actually just opened in 2012. Prior to knowing about Parchment, because I had started my own counseling department, I was sending transcripts. I was actually printing, signing, sealing transcripts to be sent, to be even given to like insurance companies for good student discounts. To be sent to universities, to be sent to NCAA, to be sent to NAIA, and it was a very time-consuming process as I was the only counselor. We didn't have a ton of students then, but as the student population increased, that administrative paperwork piece increased as well. I know for some schools that the registrar does this, but in our school, the counselors do it all, to include, signing the paper transcripts and sending them on. It was also, being a new school and being a Catholic school, a parochial school, it was also a cost issue as we were sending documents out, just in terms of stamps as well. I found out about Parchment through Lenore, investigated it, asked some questions, did a couple webinars, and decided to try it out. It was free, right? Like, what's the harm? What's the harm in trying it out to see if it makes my life any easier, where I can spend more time with students and less time in administrative duties. So I signed on for Parchment. And we don't have an IT department either. And so I found out a lot about like uploading student names list, what a CSV document was, things like that. I've learned a lot over the years. Some schools that have IT, like the list can be uploaded, um, but it's not an arduous process at all. So the lists get uploaded at the beginning of the year, and they're there and current for every student, and even alumni, but I'll get into that in a minute. And so the student lists are there. I'm able to, out of our SIS, out of our student information system, I'm able to batch transcripts by grade level and then upload those to Parchment as well. And it matches the transcript to the student. In some cases, something might be a little off, and so it'll say like no match found, and it takes 2 clicks basically to match that student to their document, which is very helpful. I upload transcripts every semester, so I upload transcripts in December or January, and then I upload them again in May or June, so that students have access to current documentation. We use this for all 4 grade levels. We don't use it just for like juniors and seniors applying to college. I have all grade levels in, and at new student orientation, I make sure that all the new students log into their Parchment account. This helps with our front desk staff as well. Like I said before, some parents will inquire about grade reports for for student discounts on insurance and such, or they just kind of want a transcript to hang on to. And so I encourage even the freshmen and sophomores to log in and order their transcript through Parchment, because it not only is seamless and easy and goes electronically, but it also trains them for junior and senior year when this becomes a more frequent process. So the students log in and they order transcripts either to themselves or to institutions, and all of the information is very easy to follow for them. We do like kind of a small run through at new student orientation, and then we talk about it at our junior and senior meetings, so that they are very familiar with how the process goes in order to order the transcript. Once they order it, I go in once a week and I approve them. I approve them or disapprove them, whatever. Sometimes I move them to hold for grades. And then once I post grades for the semester, or once I confirm that grades are posted, those all flood back into my to-do list and I approve them. Takes mere minutes, maybe 5 minutes a week, where before it was a very arduous process that would have taken a lot longer. Are they able to send the scholarship opportunities or just colleges? They, as long as the institution or agency has an email address and will accept electronic scholarships, they're able to put in that information and then send it to whomever needs it. Yeah, so they can send it wherever they want, basically, as long as that place accepts electronic transcripts and you have an email address to put into the bar for that agency or that organization. I've even had, there's a university down south, I won't name it, but a lot of times they will tell my students, we haven't received your transcript yet. And I am able now to go into the history with this, which is fantastic, and give them a locator number. There's a locator number on it, and it'll even tell me if the university's already downloaded it. So then the student can call the university, the admissions reps back and say, hey, my counselor said you already downloaded it, and here's the number to match it to my account. So you do have my transcript. Can you please match it so that, I know that you have it? And so it even gives you that piece of information where when I was mailing them, I could never guarantee that the university actually received them. And now I kind of have a yes, you did. You know, like a little yes, you did receive it. I have notification that you received it. Um, and it's just, I don't know, it's easy. It's timely. It records history. You can trace that history. It doesn't, it enabled me to have more time with my students or more time to do other duties because I didn't have to sit here and sign and address and stamp and you know, then go to the post office and mail all of these transcripts and then wonder if they're getting to the agencies that they need to get to. It is free, right? That someone just put in the chat.
Yes, it's free for all public and private to utilize the service. And Heidi will go into more detail on that in her presentation.
I think I cover it? Did I cover? Heidi, do you have anything else that I might be missing?
No, you did a great job. Thank you. I think,
Yes.
everything that you said, explained everything really well. And I'll kind of reiterate some of the things that you talked about.
So, I mean, I think what surprised me was the ease of it. That was just the actual ease of it. Because a lot of times you get notifications that, hey, this program is going to help you out a lot. No, this one really does.
Well, we do appreciate you so much, Bobby, and taking time today. I know you've been swamped and with the weather, you're catching up and doing all those sort of things. But, I've been at ISAC talking about this program now since 2011 when we started with them and visiting numerous schools and across the state. And I can talk about how great and wonderful it is. Parchment can talk about how great and wonderful they are. But it really makes a difference when we hear from individuals like yourself. I think it impacts your peers across the state that are currently at schools that are really trying to make that hard decision. Which direction do we go? And is it really, nobody likes that word free or no cost. Is that really how it works? But truly that service is available for you and your students. So Bobby is going to have to go on mute here in just a few minutes. So if you have any questions for Bobby, if you could go ahead and put those in the chat right now, she could address that. But those of you working in schools right now know that students could walk in her door at any second. So when they do, we're going to be losing her. And I know she'll be happy to get back with you. So I will be capturing any additional comments or questions that you have, and we can always get those out to her. So I'm not seeing anything else pop up yet for you. Oh, here we have one. Does the student have to make the request to get a transcript sent, or can we send them without a request?
So you can order one for the student, and we actually have our students complete a FERPA release with their enrollment every year, so that we're even able to so I place the order, and it goes into their account, and I can push the order through too with the FERPA release. And so there is something for them to approve, if I'm not mistaken, Heidi. I know I haven't done that in a long time where I've pushed one through.
Yes, you can request on behalf of a student. Obviously, we know we are big advocates to have your student do it on their own, but we know things come up, and there can be cases where you might have a current student that needs you to send it out. So you can place that request for them to the destination if needed.
One more thing before I sign off. I briefly said something regarding alumni. And so we have a lot of students, I would say a lot. Some students go away to one school and then they decide they don't want to go there and they're going to transfer. And at the end of their senior year, I send out an email that says that they need to make sure that they have an email address in there that is not their school email address, that is a personal email address, so that they have access to this forever. I've had students 1 year, 4 years, 5 years out needing a transcript for grad school or needing a transcript for unemployment. I mean, not unemployment, needing a transcript for employment, for grad school, or transferring universities. And I don't even have to go search for that. They go in and request it and it's still matched, and I can just send that wherever it is. And so sometimes I'll go in my to-do list. I do college stuff on Thursdays. I know that sounds funny, but that's kind of my pacing calendar. So I do all college stuff on Thursdays. And so when I go into Parchment sometimes on Thursdays, I'll see like, oh, this person, and I'll remember that they graduated 2 or 3 years ago, or it's going to a graduate program or something, and I'm able to just push process order. Now that incurs a fee for them because they've graduated, but it doesn't incur a fee for the school.
Thank you for sharing that, Bobby. I'm going to go ahead and move on. I'm not seeing any other questions, and if we have some, we can come back to those. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Heidi Dodge. She's the manager for K-12 customer success with Parchment. And Heidi, like I said, has been working with Illinois now for a good number of years. We also have Paul McMurrow, who is our regional sales manager. He wasn't able to join us today, but at the end of the presentation, I'm going to be providing his information for reach out as well. So I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter, Heidi. You can take it away.
Great. Thank you, Lenore, and thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it. Can you see my screen okay? All right, fantastic. Well, thank you everyone for joining. I know you're busy, but we appreciate you jumping on. Bobby, thank you so much for your, you know, advice in terms of what you've gone through. I know you and I have worked together for a while too. And then we just appreciate the partnership with ISAC as well. As Lenore said, it's really in place to not only help you all with your workflow, but really take away those barriers for students, make it easier for them to get to their next pathway, whatever that looks like, if it's college, if it's a job, if it's, something else. We want to help them get to where they need to go easy. And so as you can see, I am filling in for Paul today. I didn't change that slide, but Paul is the regional sales manager. He is the person that works with Illinois schools that are not opted in yet to use Parchment. And so he is your go-to person for that. And I will also share his information at the end as well. So feel free to put questions in the chat. We can help answer those at the end also. So let me go ahead and get started. So the first thing we talked about is just really streamlining the process, simplification for K-12 schools and districts. And again, it all really goes back to the student. At the end of the day, we want to make it easy for them to complete their application, get that job that they're searching for, and to get that transcript to where it needs to be as quickly as possible. So it's all about having all of your student and alumni requests in one place. So like we said, it is at no cost for you to use Parchment in Illinois because of the partnership with ISAC. And so both your current students and alumni can utilize, and I'll talk a little bit about the fees as we get further down the presentation. Again, it offers better student service for today and tomorrow. So it allows you, those students, that school community in your school or district, those are your customers, and you're trying to service them the best that you can. This helps streamline and make that more efficient, as well as, again, it saves time for that process, either on the district level or the school level. And so one thing that I did want to mention, I know that sometimes in districts, maybe a district registrar or office is taking care of certain requests. Maybe they are, in my experience, a lot of times If you have that situation, they might be taking care of a certain segment of alumni. So we have something called smart routing, where we can route certain requests to a different person who is taking care of those requests. So if that's a district registrar, we can do that as well. So keep in mind too, as I go over this, this is really a high level overview to kind of get you introduced to Parchment. If at the end of this webinar, you are like, yes, I want to learn more, I want to see how this might fit with my district or school, then you can set up something with Lenore or Paul, and they can take you through definitely a more extensive call as well. So just wanted to throw that out there for you all. So the other piece is when you think about the Parchment Network, again, we can help students, parents, alumni, but also third-party organizations. There are probably some of you on this webinar that are used to either getting emails or phone calls from background check companies like Hire Right, or someone who is trying to verify enrollment or graduation verification for students. And those are also requests that can come through Parchment. It's a way to streamline those requests, cut down on those phone calls or emails or even faxes that might come into your office. You can direct those to Parchment and they come into your to-do list just like a student request. So it's not just about transcripts, it's about verifications. It's about us. We do have something called district transfer, but you can also send supplemental documents. So recommendations, any additional documents that you might need to send for a student, you can also send through Parchment. So as far as our network, it's very large. You can kind of see on the right-hand side, that's just a very, very small sampling of where we can send to. But in terms of destinations, we can send worldwide. So like Bobby said, if they are not in our network, as long as you have an email, you can enter that email and it can go electronic. But we also have a print component. So if it needs to be to a mailed destination, we can do that as well. And someone had asked about scholarships. Bobby was actually, very correct in that if you have an email and they're willing to accept it that way, you can do it that way. Or a student can also choose to have a transcript mailed to them. It comes in a sealed envelope, and they can just put that envelope in with their scholarship packet and hand it in that way too. So it's another option that they can follow. So again, it's all about, first of all, the trusted network. It's very expansive. 95% of colleges and universities are in network. Destinations like college admission, scholarships, we kind of already talked about military, NCAA, third parties, employers, licensing, individuals, background check companies. So we know that those transcripts are not just going to colleges and universities. There's a lot of different entities that those transcripts or documents might be going to. And then we always talk about our comprehensive platform and how it really is about the lifelong learner and their account. So we know after high school graduation, they might be going that college route in terms of admission. They might be going to an internship, following them to their first job, graduate admission, professional certification, career advancement. So it is about that lifelong learner account. This account is there for them after they graduate high school, after they finish college, or they're in the job market or that trade school, whatever that looks like for them. It really is meant to follow their path so that they have that all along the way. They've got one place for those credentials that they are continuously earning. And so again, like Bobby had mentioned, folks are coming back to say, I'm going to go to graduate school or I'm getting a job. These types of things, this is what we look at. We are here to support and help that credential that they're earning create opportunities for the learner all along the way. So one thing some of you might, I know uh, it was mentioned about mailing things out, and I can tell you what I hear most from our current members is I would never want to go back to doing that that way. So if you have a paper request form, sometimes people are using Google Forms that they have students or parents fill out. You might be mailing transcripts out. That doesn't go away at the end of the day. There are always exceptions. Um, but this, like Bobby said, Parchment has history. You can easily look up where the transcript has gone, who has accepted it or opened it. The same with your students. They have access within their Parchment account to see the progress of their order all along the way. So they don't necessarily have to reach out to you to say, I called the school and they said they didn't get it, or did you mail it? Which I'm sure some of you are used to hearing, right? Did you send it? They didn't get it. Can you send it again? They have access in Parchment to see the history of all of the orders that they have placed, and they can see the status of those orders just like the administrators on the Parchment side can see. So, you know, after again, online ordering is streamlined. It's very much, it's very simple on the student side. The digital fulfillment saves time. It allows that transcript to get where it needs to be much faster, which on the college and university side is huge. At the end of the day, they want to be able to make a decision about that application quicker for that student and be that first acceptance letter in the mailbox or in the email. So um, all around, it streamlines that process because we know that the process of applying for college, especially, or even for finding a job, it's stressful. So this is meant to hopefully put people at ease and streamline it. So I know there were a couple questions on what does it cost? Well, there is no cost to schools and districts to utilize Parchment in Illinois, which is a wonderful thing and a testament to the partnership that we have with ISAC. There's no cost to current students if they're sending to an electronic destination. There's free training and implementation. If they are sending to a print destination, the fee is $275, so they pay that at the time of order. Alumni can use the service as well. They simply pay that $440 per request. And the ability to add surcharges to turn Parchment into a revenue generating tool for your school is also available. So you can add a surcharge onto a third-party graduation verification order. You can add a surcharge onto an alumni order if you choose to. Parchment then does remit 80% of that surcharge. So whatever you choose as a surcharge, they remit 80% on a quarterly basis as long as you've reached 500. So that surcharge can help you generate revenue for other things at your school, whether that's scholarships, additional services at your school, or even additional services with Parchment. So keep that in mind. And it's definitely something that we can talk to schools about further if you have questions on that. So I've got Paul's information on the screen here, and feel free to take a picture, write that down, because you can set up a meeting so that he can kind of talk through with you maybe the challenges that you're having at your school or district, some of the things you're looking to solve, and he can go into a greater demo if it makes sense that you're you know, if you're interested. So I've got that on the screen. I think Lenore said she was going to share it as well. But that is what I have for you today. Happy to answer any questions, and I can stop sharing at this point, but we really appreciate and would love to talk to you more if it's something that you're interested in. So Lenore, I can turn it back to you.
I'm taking that away from you right now. And we do thank Heidi for being with us. I know she can speak to what it looks like on the student side and as far as account creation and what it looks like on the administrator side. If you do have any questions for her, now is the time to go ahead and put that in the chat. And Heidi's going to be happy to walk through some of that stuff. Getting started really is super simple. You can either reach out to myself or you can send Paul an email. And like Heidi said, Paul will then schedule a meeting with you to really talk about the school's needs. And you're going to have to sign a user agreement. And that is usually done by the principal, or maybe in some schools, it might be the superintendent. But everything is done online. So even the training takes place online. So it makes it the whole process super simple. And I normally get the question, well, how long is this going to take to get set up? I had that question the other day, and I'm usually going back and saying, well, it takes as long as you want it to take. I mean, Parchment can get you through in a week, I've found in some situations, or you can go at a slower pace. Usually the question is, what happens with the training? Am I going to have support? And I always tell schools that I'm not going to go away. You're going to have me as a resource as well. But I've yet to hear any feedback that Parchment isn't there for you whenever you need to ask a question. They have just so many different ways you can do that, through phone calls and online chats on their website. So it really is a very streamlined process. Well, Heidi, I'm not seeing any questions here coming up for us.
One thing that I did want to add too is that, in the meantime, if you are interested in learning more information, you can go to our website, parchment.com. And on that website, we have some really great resources that our existing members use. So you feel free to look around. I actually can share my screen really quick just to kind of show you what that looks like.
Let me give that back to you. Oh, you got it. There you go.
Got it. So parchment.com, and if you go to resources, under resources, we have some training. And so you can take a look, feel free. I mean, you don't need a login to take a look at some of these things. We've got K-12 quick bite videos. There's learner videos here too. So feel free to explore our website. There's a lot of great information there that you can take a look at if you are interested as well. So just wanted to kind of share that really quickly too.
Well, I don't want to prolong this and take up more of your day if we're not getting any questions. I'm going to go ahead and let you know that we do value and appreciate your time today. And you can get back in touch with either Paul or myself. We'll be happy to do that. But in closing, I guess I would really ask you to think about the fact that the state of Illinois has been able to provide this to you at no cost for you to participate. It's safe and secure. It saves your time and the school's money. It's easier for you. It's easy for your students. And so we really can't wait to hear from you. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and thank you all for attending.